Welcome, welcome, welcome everybody to this live stream today. My name is Amista, and I just figured I would come on and do little tarot readings for some of the people who show up and interact with me here today. And so while we're waiting for people to get here for this live, since it's unscheduled, and so nobody was exactly sitting and waiting for it. So while we're waiting for people to get here, I am going to do my favorite spread, and we're going to make this applicable to anybody and everybody who stumbles across this video, either now or later. And that is going to be, what is our best manifestation advice for today? If you're in the room and you would like to have me do a personal reading for you, please just say hi, ask a question that you want to have answered, or let me know if you just want to see what Spirit wants to say to you by putting a message from Spirit or something like that in the chat box. Okay, so starting off with best manifestation advice. Hello there, Gran. Glad to see you. Thank you for putting a thumbs up. I know you have already done that. I appreciate it. So best manifestation advice for today, what we have showing up with. Please share this video, by the way, if you don't mind. We have the Fool card showing up in reverse, and this talks about the idea of considering what it is that we want to manifest and really looking at, do I really want to manifest that? It seems to be a question of something that we've been wanting to manifest. Now we're asking ourselves, do I really want that? And so the Fool card says, once we've really considered, then it's go time. Okay, then it's time to work on manifesting. Here is, this is why we're reconsidering. Princess of Wands in reverse. There's been a lack of energy. We haven't really felt like we have the energy to put towards whatever this is that we want to manifest. And with the Five of Cups, we've had this lack of energy because there has been some disappointment along the way. Okay, so Spirit is basically saying that if we are rethinking a manifestation because of some disappointment along the way, that's okay to rethink it, definitely. And especially if that disappointment has caused us to go lower level on our energy. We haven't put as much into it lately. It's time to go back to that old idea about what we want to manifest, and it's time to resurrect it and start working with it again. All right. Okay, so give me a question about your housing issues, Graham. Give me a specific question to work with, because, we could examine every aspect of that and be here for half an hour. But let's look at bottom line, like think about what is the most important thing that you want to know and crystallize that into a question for me, honey. Anybody else in the room that wants a reading, put a question in the chat box, or if you just want a message from Spirit, put that in the chat. And I'll be happy to read for as many people as I can before it's time for me to go. Boop-a-da-doo. It is very good, though, that you have a general idea of what you want to know about. That's a good start. Boop-a-da-doo. And I am talking to Gran on that comment. I'm just getting my scratch paper ready. Getting some scratch paper ready. Boop-a-da-doo-doo-doo. Okay, Gran, let me know your specific question. I am waiting. Here it is. Moving forward with moving and selling. You're selling your house? Wow. I was not expecting you to say that. Of 36 years. Okay. And so what is the question? What is the question? Are you asking me when it's going to sell? Will you get what you're asking for it? What is our question here? Is this a good idea? Oh, okay. So you're keeping it in the family. All right. I think we might have talked about this before. You're living in it after you sell it. Okay. Did Gracie make the right decision when she decided to sell this house to her oldest? Is that the best decision that she could make regarding her housing situation? Oh, this is your oldest sister. Okay, well, I want to shuffle again. I was thinking your oldest daughter. Boop-a-da-doo-doo. Boop-a-da-doo. Well, you're waiting kind of late to ask me that, aren't you? It's already like the 30th. We've got like a week. All right, let's see here. So I'm going to tell you right off the bat, technically this is a yes. We are going to walk through the details of this. So your answer technically is a yes. You made the right decision. All right. Now let's look at details on this. We start off with the Ace of Wands. This was actually an inspired idea, so we like that. Four of Wands in reverse. Now Wands is all about family. It's all about home. This talks about the idea of getting some distance actually from family or home, which is interesting that it shows up there because I think you're still, oh, okay. I like that. Yeah, because we're Scorpio sisters. Okay, so, and that makes sense with what I think you told me on the phone one time or on text. Okay, so anyway, inspired idea, yes. This has to do with family that is away from home. So this may be that she doesn't live there now. Maybe she would later once it's actually sold. I'm not exactly sure. But this talks about somebody that's out of the home or away from home. Maybe you even made this decision when you were not at home. Two of Wands, you had options. You know, you had options. You didn't really have any trouble choosing which option you wanted to go with. Eight of Pentacles in reverse is interesting because it talks about not working. So this talks about the idea that you're not technically having to go clock in somewhere, have a job, that this allows you to be in a situation where you're not working. And the Ten of Pentacles is security, stability. So this is reaching a goal for you about having stability and security as you're not officially working. Okay. I don't know if you're still going to be doing your cooking stuff, but you don't have to have a job at least. Ten of Pentacles, that's my security and stability. Interestingly enough, a lot of people associate this card with family as well. So it talks about the idea that it brings security and stability not only for you, but also for your daughter and for her family as well. So this is a really nice card to end this with. Yeah, I think that's nice. That looks really nice. And honey again. Somebody still has never sent me any honey. I'm just messing with you. You do not have to send me honey. For those of you who don't know, Gracie offered one time, a very long time ago, a couple of years ago at least, to send some honey because she has a good source. And then things just kind of went crazy and it never happened. Crazy in the world. Well, it's definitely, like, I can see why you would be super scared because it is a relinquishing of control over something, but it looks like it works out exactly the way you're planning for it to. Welcome back, Alicia. Do you have a question for me today, my dear, or would you like me to do a message from Spirit? Guys, if you haven't already, please share this video out. I really want my channel to grow, grow, grow. Grow, grow, grow. This is my second channel, and it's a baby. I had 7K on the other one, but I was at 7K for 8 years, so I think I got shadow banned there. So I'm really wanting to grow this one. We started over from scratch. I'm trying my hand out at all kinds of different locations because I'm noticing that YouTube is getting a little censory. So I'm also going on Rumble and Odyssey, but those I have to have streaming software, and I haven't figured that out yet. So I may not go live there very often yet. A question for work. Okay. Hit me with it, baby. Hit me with your question. And I think I'm going to try to do Facebook pretty regular too. If you're not on my Amista Bennett Psychic Medium, whatever, Psychic Astrologist Facebook channel, look for Amista Bennett Psychic something. Isn't that terrible? Maybe I should look and see what my Facebook page is called. Amista Bennett, Psychic Tarot Reader and Reiki Master. So if you're not following that page, I'm going to be going, that's going to be my home base for lives, I think. Okay. Best guidance for Alicia whenever it comes to work, please. Best guidance for Alicia regarding what she should do about work. Yeah, and you can share these on the YouTube ones on Facebook too. And then people will just, when they click, they can come over here. All right, that's what we're getting, my dear. That's what we're getting. Do, 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 do. Wow. And I can't even remember what I read for you yesterday. I know I read for you yesterday. And you don't have to tell me, that's okay. It probably has given me a fresher mind to look at this. All right, so here's what comes up. First of all, we start off with the Five of Cups in reverse. This talks about forgiving and letting go of something. So Five of Cups basically talks about some kind of disappointment, injury, hurt, something like that. When it comes up in reverse, it talks about letting it go, forgiving whatever this was. So when we're talking, this can be forgiveness. This can be just deciding, you know what, I'm counting that as water under the bridge. Now, a lot of people think that when you forgive something, that means that you should let these people do the same thing to you over again because you've forgiven them. And a lot of narcissists and other controlling types of people will tell you that if you've forgiven me, then you will basically clear the path for me to do the same thing again because you trust me that I won't do it again. Forgiveness and expecting that somebody's going to change are two different things, okay? So if somebody did something to you that was hurtful or insulting or impacted your life in a negative way, it's one thing to recognize that they were not in their best place. It's another thing to expect them to just suddenly start being in their best place, okay? So forgive, let it go, does not mean let it happen again, all right? But forgive and let it go, because that takes the burden off of you that you carry around when you hold on to this negative energy about something that happened in the past. That negative energy, even though it's because somebody else did something cruddy, holds us back. It keeps us from being successful. So the more we can forgive and let go, the lighter we are, the more we can move forward, the quicker we move on our feet. Okay, the quicker we get to our success. Now, next card, Ser Niños. This tells me that you have some kind of fear around this work issue that you don't know what to do about. You're going to have to face this fear head on. Just take that bull and grab it by the horns and wrestle it right down, man. You can see, with this card upside down, those horns are on the ground. So you can take that fear and really analyze it. You can look at, what am I afraid of? Why am I afraid of it? Is this even a rational fear? If the worst case scenario happened, what would I do about it if it's not, if it is a rational fear? Because then you recognize that, oh my God, the sky is not going to fall. I have something that I could do. It would not be the end of the world. Okay. So you've got a fear that you need to wrestle down that has to do with work. Hello there, Callie. Now, Queen of Wands showing up in reverse tells me that you've got somebody around you who is bossy, meddling, somebody who likes to make decisions for other people that other people should be making for themselves. So what I'm hearing is you want to be aware that that's what's going on with this person. I don't really have anything about standing up to this person or fighting this person or whatever. And maybe you do need to do that. And maybe being aware of that's what's going on will help you to do that. But what I'm really picking up off of this card is you need to be aware that this person who is bossy and who is meddling, they are actually meddling. Like sometimes when somebody steps in and they make decisions for us that we should be making, then instead of us standing up for ourselves, sometimes our self-esteem takes a hit. We go, oh, maybe that I thought that was my territory. I guess that's not my territory. And we allow ourselves to become a little smaller, you know? So you just want to be aware that this person is a meddler. That's what they do. And you get to figure out how you want to respond to that. You don't have to have a knee-jerk reaction. I always say, I have friends, all kinds of different friends, but I know the weaknesses of my friends and I don't expect them to do something that's a weakness for them. Like if I have a blabbermouth friend, I'm not going to tell that friend all my secrets and expect them to stay secret. If I want the rest of the world to know, then I'm going to tell them my blabbermouth friend. Okay? If I have a friend that is late all the time, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to count on them being late all the time. So we know the weaknesses of people. This is somebody in your sphere of influence who they're a meddler. You get to figure out what you want to do about that, but be aware. It's not something where your self-esteem should be taking a hit. You can handle these things. They're just a meddler. All right, now, I'm glad you're okay, Callie. All right, looking at your next card, you have the Chariot showing up in reverse. Don't go anywhere. Stay put. If you're thinking about going somewhere, don't. Stay put. Now, Seven of Swords, make a strategy. Some people would see this as sneaking away without making a big dramatic thing. Maybe that's what you're making a strategy for. Figure out what you want in this situation and then start making a strategy towards what it is that you want. Start putting together your strategy. All right, so I hope that makes sense for you, Alicia. That Chariot really says a lot. Don't go anywhere. When the Chariot's in reverse, we're not moving. When it's right side up, it's let's get out of here fast. So that was actually intended for Alicia, Callie. I hadn't even got to you yet. But I'm glad that you got a piggyback message off of that. A piggyback message is just where you hear somebody else's message and you recognize that it resonates for you, and then you can make good use of it in your life. Okay. So, Callie, let's actually focus on you. Do you want a message from Spirit or do you have a question for me today? I think it's way cool too. That's why I love to listen to things like this where I read for people. I like to listen where other people read for other people. Message from Spirit. Okay. By the way, guys, thank you for the thumbs up. I've got one so far. I've got more than that people in the room. I would appreciate more than that. I know I've read from more than one of you. And also, share this video out to the world. This is a tiny, tiny, tiny little channel. I would like to grow it. Okay, message from Spirit for Callie. Callie. Nice energy exchange when we support each other like that. Woohoo, another thumbs up. Thank you. All right, so let's see what we have. By the way, I am doing readings today online, either on the phone or online. All you have to do is reach out to me, and all my contact information is on my website to make that happen. All right, so thank you, Callie. All right, here's what we have showing up for you for your situation. The first two cards are going to be your situation. After that, we're going to be looking at what's best advice or heads up around your situation. Have you ever seen me live before, Callie? Because I'm not sure I recognize your name or not. Your situation shows up. First card is the Lord. This will be like our Aries card. Sometimes I really try to avoid sticking with signs because we all have a little bit of every single card in us. And so I will tell you that this is somebody who's very much in control, well-respected leader, somebody who has a lot of integrity. They are not going to throw you under the bus. They do have high standards. If you live up to those standards, you'll get along just fine with this person. If you do not, they will let you know. Okay, awesome. Well, I'm glad you're here. All right, and then your covering card is the Death card, which I would never name a card Death. If I was designing a tarot deck, I would call it Transformation. So we do have basically the Transformation card, which is covering the Lord card. This just tells me that this is a person who's in your sphere of influence who has some type of control over you, whether this is a significant other, a spouse, a boss, a landlord, somebody who has some kind of control in your life, some type of influence in your life. And this person is going through a huge change. With that card, we're making a huge transformation, and our perspective is changing, which changes how we interact with the world, which changes how the world interacts with us. And so it's this big chain of events, and this is a change that takes time to really come to full fruition. But it is a pretty dramatic change. So you've got somebody who has some influence over you, who is going through a huge change right now. Now, let's look at best advice or heads up around this situation. King of Wands in reverse, followed by Sun card in reverse, followed by the Ace of Wands, also in reverse. Okay, so with that King of Wands in reverse, this tells me that this person who has an influence on your life is feeling a little bit helpless about this change that's happening. This is probably not a change that they would have chosen. This is more of a change of the doctor says I can't have salt in my diet anymore. Oh my gosh. It's something like that. They have a situation. They don't have a lot of control over it. They're just trying to figure it out. Okay? Now, when that King of Wands comes up in reverse, they are not looking for advice. They're usually the problem solvers. And so they are not looking for advice, even though they are feeling kind of stuck. But this person may want to use you as a sounding board. They may want to talk to you about what's going on so they can kind of hear it. And that's going to help them process it and help them find the solutions that they need. Okay? Now, the trick with the King of Wands is not to give this person advice unless they literally ask for it. Because in most cases, they are not looking for advice. They're just looking to say things until they get them worked out in their own mind. Okay? So you want to be a really good listener for this person. If they ask for your advice, then give honest, gentle, kind advice, because this is a tough situation for them. So you don't want to just, bulldoze in with, you should do blah, 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 blah. Obviously, they don't want to do whatever this is that needs to happen. So more gentle to just listen as they process and get used to the idea that they're going to have to. Okay. Now, Sun card in reverse basically says that if you can listen until this person actually asks for advice, then you guys are going to be just fine. You're going to get along just fine. You just have to give this person that space. My Sun card in reverse talks about doing things that are satisfying, fulfilling, and productive along with someone else, which is what tells me they are going to actually ask you for advice eventually. And when they do, then you guys can move forward productively. Don't go overboard on the advice is what I'm hearing from Spirit. They're saying answer the question and shut up. Let this person ask the next question. Okay. I feel like that may be hard. You may feel like you have a lot of the answers this person needs, but the tricky part is they're not really wanting to move forward with this, even though they know they need to. So they're not necessarily ready to hear everything all at once. This is going to take basically some spoon feeding. Okay. Now, Ace of Wands in reverse. Very interesting. It shows that with this type of collaboration with this person, eventually they recognize that there is something that they need to do, even though it's not their favorite. And this is like with this Ace of Wands, it's coming to a point of acceptance. Here, they're recognizing something has to change. They have a problem. They're not exactly sure what to do about it. They're not liking that something needs to change at all. They're not even really accepting it. Okay, so if you've got all the answers when they haven't accepted that they need to change, you can see how that's not beneficial. Here we see that once you guys have discussed some things, once you've been respectful in your communication with them and only answered questions that they've asked, this is where we see them realizing, oh, I'm not a fan, but I need to do this. Okay. That's what we've got. Hope that makes sense for you. Anybody else in the room that wants a reading? I'm going to give you about a minute to say so in the chat, but I think I've read for everybody who's interacted with me so far. You're quite welcome. I do hope it made sense. Ba-ba-da-da. So anybody else who wants a reading needs to speak now or forever hold their peace. La-da-da-da. Or we could just talk about other stuff. We could talk about cherry pie or hot dogs, hamburgers, Chevrolet. What was that old commercial? Baseball, hot dogs, and Chevrolet. I can't even remember what it was about. But it basically, the commercial, one of the lines of the commercial was, it's as American as baseball, hot dogs, and Chevrolet. I can't remember what that commercial was. It was on when I was a kid on TV when my dad would be watching ball games. So we're talking back in the 70s. Yeah, I can't remember what they were advertising. But it was a catchy advertisement and we heard it a lot. All right, anybody here that wants a reading, say so now or forever hold your peace. I'm going to be waiting about 21 more seconds before I log out of here. All right, guys. Well, if you want to find me for a private reading, all you have to do is check out the website in my description box below. All my contact information is there. So if you have questions, feel free to reach out and ask any kind of questions. Um, if you need to have those answered before you book, and once you actually pay for the reading, then you contact me and we schedule a time, or you can schedule a time first and then pay for the reading. Either way, doesn't matter to me. And let's see, anything else we need to know? I also offer Reiki. I offer psychic mentoring. If you're wanting to understand your own abilities a little bit more, then I do offer personalized psychic mentoring. And if you're in the local area, I have classes that happen at, for heaven's sake, Metaphysical Store on Youngfield Street in Lakewood. Everybody have a fantastic day. Peace out.